Hello, everyone. This is Tim. Um, I'm reading The Making of America this month because I want to deal with. Let's see if I can get some more light in here. There we go. I want to deal with um, how this country was put together, which is really one of the reasons why it has fallen apart. And I see us trying to remake the country, or some people, but they're trying to do it the same way, and we can't make those mistakes. We need to learn. So that's why every month I'm going to use a book, and I started that this month, and I can't think of a more important book. Um, Now we're dealing with the different people. So we're dealing with George Washington. Reluctant executive. George Washington never loomed larger than when he was absent from the scene. His life story has a satisfyingly repetitive quality. Washington distinguishes himself in some great endeavor, then retires, Voltaire-like, to tend his garden at Mount Vernon in Virginia. Suddenly a messenger arrives. Washington is needed. His country calls, and back into the saddle he clambers, vowing to patient Martha, I shall return. Thus it was that Washington who trained to be a surveyor, because a military hero in the French and Indian War, then commander-in-chief of the Continental Army, and finally, first president of the U.S. Washington's heroic service in the Revolutionary War made him one of the most celebrated people on the planet. Europeans were accustomed to military heroes who grabbed for power. They were shocked when the great general, emulating the Roman warrior Cincinnatus, resigned his commission, refusing to parlay his renown into high office. Even King George III was stunned by the act. If true, he declared, then he is the greatest man in the world. The greatest man in the world enjoyed 4 years of domestic tranquility at Mount Vernon after the war, but in 1787 the messenger arrived, and Washington journeyed to Philadelphia, where he presided over the Continental Convention, or the Constitutional Convention. The document called for a single chief executive to be called the President, and his fellow delegates didn't have to look far to find a candidate. In 1788, the messenger returned. Washington had won all 69 votes in the Electoral College. The old soldier, now 57, had no interest in office, but he knew well that he was the only person who could summon the states, already deeply divided over issues of size and slavery, always an important issue, into a true union. On April 30th, 1789, Washington took the oath of office at Federal Hall in New York City. He helped broker the deal that created a new federal district, fittingly not far from his home on the Potomac River, then laid the cornerstone for the capital. He put on his uniform again in 1794 when he led an army to take on the Pennsylvania frontiersmen, defying federal tax officials in the Whiskey Rebellion. In his second term, he weathered his first taste of unpopularity when a treaty his envoy John Jay agreed to with Britain was deemed a disgrace by most Americans. Although clearly sympathetic to the Federalists, he feared that the factional politics that arose on his watch might sunder the Union. He left the office in 1797 and died 2 years later, never looming larger. And the quote here is, I was using my utmost exertions to establish a national character of our own, independent, as far as justice would permit, of every nation on earth. So, and here's a picture of a sculpting of Washington. Look at that. And that's by this life mask of Washington at age 53 was cast by French sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon in 1785. So there you go. All right. And two things we take away real quick. One, slavery is always there. Slavery is racialized in the United States, so race is always there. Two, beware someone who wants to be president, who wants to be the leader. The best leaders are the ones who don't want to do it. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't want to do it. George Washington didn't want to do it. Even people like Malcolm X didn't really want to do it. Um, if you look at Malcolm, he had all the tools, but he just wanted to work. He just wanted to work and he just wanted to build the nation. I don't really even think he wanted the leadership position, even though most people would have wanted to put him there. So, again, people who desire to be all these weird new people like Obama and what's the new young guy, Pete Buttigieg, who in high school want to be president, and so they live their lives so that when they run for president, there won't be any dirt. That's weird. You can't trust those people because all they desire is the position, and they'll never do anything with it. Because once they win, that's it. Does Nothing else matters. So again, this is a good lesson for us to use today. Until next time, I want to thank you for supporting me. I want to also um, tell you to take care of your mind, take care of your body, and be safe.